It was announced on Wednesday that the two Republican incumbent senators from Georgia were defeated in the state runoff election. Obviously, that has a major impact on our governance. And so, Mark, what was the contributing factors to this stunning, what some consider a stunning reversal?
Well, I think you described it before when you talked about the general election turnout. Trump's presence had a galvanizing impact on turnout, but it was also a galvanizing impact on turnout both for and against him. And so while the general expectation is for these runoff elections and for Georgia, for there to be a kind of reversion to a mid-year or an off-year turnout, in fact, just the opposite took place. There was strong turnout by Republicans, but also that much stronger turnout on the part of Democrats.
So, Mike, now that Democrats have won all three houses of government, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, what's going to happen next?
Well, that's going to be really interesting. I mean, obviously, the Democrats now have a great opportunity to focus on getting real things done, focusing on COVID recovery, health, education, the economy. How do we bring these things and how do we pull us all back together again? And honestly, they've got to not worry about trying to show how right they were about other things and get distracted by every shiny object, but really have some discipline and show what it looks like to lead by getting real things done for real people. And I think that's going to be a challenge. It's a great opportunity, but now you actually have to do something with it. And, you know, as much as as a member of the Democratic Party, as much as I like to think we can do some things, we tend to get very distracted and we don't, discipline is not our forte. And I think there's an opportunity to really get real things done, and we've got to get there.
Well, there's particularly since there's a very narrow majority in the House. I think it's 10 seats, and effectively the Senate is tied, isn't it? 50-50, or what's the number?
50-50.
50-50. So, I mean, the idea that there should be, and this I think works. Our government works best when there's a need for compromise. Will there be an effort at compromise by the two houses of the Congress?
Well, if there isn't, I don't think you'll get anything done. And so I think that there is a real opportunity, you know, hearkening back to what I said earlier, the two houses haven't worked particularly well together in a long time. And the two parties haven't worked well together in a long time. And now having numbers as they're structured now will force them to do that or get nothing done.
You know, Phil, I want to pivot a little bit from the general direction of what's going to happen in Washington to the criticism that some Republicans had coming out of the loss in Georgia was that the far right wing of the party can't win, that it has to be a more moderate party. How is the Republicans going to recover from these defeats?
Well, the model for moving forward is the same model that we've had for the last 4 years, actually 5, which is President Trump. Because the two candidates that lost in Georgia, they were very well connected with the business community in a state where the business community is very big. They were very winsome in their policy positions. They didn't go after the hot button issues. So frankly, they were those moderate candidates and they both lost. So when you look at President Trump was able to bring a fusion of people on the far right and the center, and even some on the left, the libertine/libertarian crew, that is a great formula for winning.
So I'm going to wrap up with Mark. Mark, given that if Phil is correct and Mike is correct, that we need to have a more of a consensus, and Phil is saying that the Republicans need to be more to the right, will there be a workable government going forward in the House?
Well, both parties have historically and continue to be unruly coalitions. Mike alluded to the Democrats and Republicans face the same phenomena, but that's also creates the opportunity for those folks who are more in the center on both parties to find common ground and work together.
Thank you, Mark. When we come back from this short break, we're going to talk about coronavirus, our favorite topic for the past 12 months, and how has the state handled the rollout of the COVID vaccine? Stay tuned.